Swastikas and nooses are no longer symbols of white supremacy or fascism. They are now just potentially divisive symbols. That's according to their new policy that they're getting ready to roll out on December 15th. Here in the Washington Post, it says, the military service, which falls under DHS, has drafted a new policy that classifies such items as potentially divisive. The Coast Guard will no longer classify the swastika, an emblem of fascism and white supremacy, inextricably linked to the murder of millions of Jews and the deaths of more than 400,000 U.S. troops who died fighting in World War II, as a hate symbol, according to a new policy that takes effect next month. Instead, the Coast Guard will classify the Nazi-era insignia as potentially divisive under its new guidelines. Now, I want to note that according to The Hill, we've got a quote in here from Admiral Kevin Lunday, Acting Coast Guard Commandant, who denies it, saying the claims that the U.S. Coast Guard will no longer classify swastikas, nooses, or other extremist imagery as prohibited symbols are categorically false. These symbols have been and remain prohibited in the Coast Guard per policy. Now, that's what's being said, but I want to dig deeper here. Let's look at this article from AP. So the service stressed, however, that the symbols will remain prohibited. And so note what they say. The updated policy is seen by the Coast Guard as a way to strengthen its ability to report, investigate, and prosecute violators. Any display, use, or promotion of such symbols will be thoroughly investigated and severely. Okay, so it'll be thoroughly, what it makes it sound like is we'll investigate it and find out if you displaying or using this symbol is a problem. So instead of the policy stating these things are completely unacceptable, they're hate speech, they are divisive, they are symbols of white supremacy and fascism. No, we'll take it on a case-by-case basis, and don't worry, we'll look into it, and don't worry, people will be severely punished. Just, trust us. That's it's one more thing, right? One more thing. So you've got a denial here, but the denials can't really refute the language. The fact of the matter is that the new policy is, instead of referring to them as hate speech, it's saying that they are politically divisive. Let's go back here to the Washington Post. So the new policy classifies such items as, potentially divisive. Is that the kind of clarity you want to see on these issues? This is one more example of making space for hate, for racism, for bigotry. It's one more example, and they just keep coming. Whether you're talking about this, or the 2 new 88-foot tall flagpoles at the White House, or the 9-star flag that showed up during Trump's first presidency on all of the government websites. It's one more example.